Welcome, Pewter Report viewers, readers, and listeners to a brand new edition of the Pewter Pregame Show brought to you by BetUS. It's Bucs versus Falcons, Creamsicle Week. So happy for everybody to join us this morning. I'm your host, Matt Matera. Joined with me is my fellow co-host and the face that runs the place at PewterReport.com, SR Scott Reynolds. Scott, how are we doing?
Doing good, Matt. It's going to be a very interesting game today. I think there's a lot of excitement about that Bucs Falcons game back in Week 5, and it didn't turn out really well. It got progressively worse as the game went on, and all of a sudden, the Falcons beat the Buccaneers in overtime, 36-30, in a game where really Tampa Bay only trailed one time, but then came right back. And so the Buccaneers are kind of in a must-win situation for the division. Doesn't mean their season's over if they lose today. But, Matt, with games like, I don't know, Kansas City, a Monday night staring them in the face, in addition to a looming game against San Francisco, this feels like a game that is winnable and one they have to get. And they're going to have to try to do it without Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. And this is a situation that's going to persist at least 2 more weeks without Mike. And hopefully he comes back after the bye week. But right now it's about adjusting on offense to not having your top 2 receivers, not just this year, but in franchise history.
Yeah, I'm going to put my hand into the pile. I'm rooting for the pony package. Pony.
Yeah.
Pony. That's what I'm rooting for.
Yeah.
And Liam Cohen said, we can't do it 50 times a game. But damn it, what's fine with 25 times, per game or whatever the case may be. Yes, it's going to be all hands on deck. Everybody needs to play their part. And, yeah, it shouldn't be on Sterling Shepard and Jalen McMillan and this whole weekend, I've had friends come up to me be like, who should I start for fantasy? Who should be the wide receiver that I'm playing? And to be honest, I don't even totally know because I think it's going to be Sterling Shepard, but I can't give like a full, wholesome answer. So I feel bad for my fantasy football friends, but regardless, it's about the Buccaneers winning and who's going to get the most stats. So I don't know. And I think it should be a really fun one because the running game, we know who's going to be featured in the running game, but as a receiver, that is still to be determined.
Yeah, and I think when you look at the Buccaneers' quandary this year, right, they drafted Jalen McMillan to be that number 3 receiver, and at times he has shown glimpses of perhaps being that guy. He did in training camp, right? I mean, Matt, you and I were there every day. I mean, this guy was catching passes. Unbelievable catches, circus catches. He even did some of that in the preseason. You go back to that preseason finale against Miami, making that catch right above his head, right by down inside the red zone by the goal line. He had the touchdown in his first game against the Commanders. But he has not really cemented himself as that number 3, right? Then you've got Trey Palmer, who showed some signs of life, had that great touchdown catch against the Eagles, and really kind of rose to the occasion, not so much in camp, but I think during this season so far in terms of making some plays for Baker Mayfield in this offense. But then he got injured. So you had Trey Palmer miss a couple games with a concussion. McMillan miss a couple games with a hamstring injury, and then you had Sterling Shepard really step up, and he's kind of been that glue guy a little bit that holds things together for this offense. He had the touchdown catch at Atlanta, right? The 2-point conversion catch last week against the Ravens, and he's got that veteran experience at age 30. He's got the chemistry with Baker Mayfield, and the one thing about Shepard is when we saw him come into Bucs training camp, he was running with the number 2s, obviously, but he immediately became Kyle Trask's favorite target. And those two hooked up quickly and easily for several touchdowns, and then he gets hurt during training camp and missed the preseason. So I don't know, Matt. This has kind of been a little bit of a quandary, and maybe it's an advantage today for Liam Cohen in this offense, the fact that they really haven't had that number 3 guy emerge to where he would be the featured guy this week. And now it's kind of the unknown. And maybe that helps the game planning for Liam Cohen, because if you're Jimmy Lake, the defensive coordinator, obviously you have to try to stop the run first and foremost. But who's the number one guy that you want to take away in the passing game? Is it even Cade Otton? He might be the guy. So I think there's a little bit of an element of surprise here for Liam Cohen.
If Cade Otton is the number one pass option, then if you let Cade Otton beat you, then you got to look within.
That's true.
and reevaluate your team and your defense. But yeah, I mean, Sterling Shepard, Sterling Shepard is going to be wide receiver 1.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No, I don't either.
I think based on what he what he has done, and Liam Cohen has said, he's winning a lot of his one-on-one matchups. I mean, at this point, what are we going to do other than, praise him for winning some, top battles?
Yeah.
We can't get on his case or not. So
yeah.
Thanks to Bucs Basement for this $9.99 super chat, who says, I hope SR has his hands on the fire Bowles articles if Britt is playing a lot. He's a 5th rounder. He's not worth defending him because who's excited to see the soft summon Britt, Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, I mean, it's listen, there's some people at One Buccaneer Place that are ready to see J.J. Russell because it can't be any worse. This guy's not one of them. Todd Bowles, if he has a fault, he gets
this
loyal.
Guy's not one of them.
He's not one of them. No. And if Todd Bowles has a fault, and he's got several, he is too loyal to his guys. And it seems like that love fest that he had for Devin White has been transferred to KJ Britt. He loves his middle linebackers, come hell or high water. And in KJ Britt, as our own Adam Slavan has pointed out, according to Pro Football Focus, and they do their best to grade every single player, and you can break it down by position. And if you look at the linebackers, they have 82 linebackers graded. And Matt, KJ Britt is number
82.
82. That's right. 82. He's dead last. And he has the worst coverage grade out of every Buccaneer player. And part of that is because he was on the field a lot with Lavonte David back when Kirk Cousins passed for 509 yards with over 370 yards coming across the middle of the field. And listen, as much as I love Lavonte David, and he is a legend, and I'm not saying this almost sounds like sacrilege. Sorry. I have to do my job. I've got to be objective. No other Buccaneer player, according to Pro Football Focus, has given up more passing yards than Lavonte David. 299 passing yards in coverages, according to Pro Football Focus. And they're not always right, and they have their faults and their warts. They're not the Bible. It's not the Holy Grail. But according to Pro Football Focus, he has 299. I think Zion, who is a cornerback, right, whose job is to cover guys.
Yeah, more likely
to give up more yards, right? I think 286, and I think Jamel Dean's 274. So according to Pro Football Focus, Lavonte David gave up over 100 yards by himself in that Falcons game. And you look at some of the weapons they have. They use Drake London a lot as their slot receiver, and Drake London had a massive day against the Buccaneers. Kyle Pitts had 88 yards against the Buccaneers. So it's not been good, and it hasn't all been KJ Britt. Todd Bowles is right about that. But even at age 34, Matt, I still trust Lavonte David more in coverage because at least he came up with that interception, right, in the fourth quarter. I trust him more as a blitzer, as someone in coverage, than I do KJ Britt. And I think the problem is when you have two guys that can be targeted, it just becomes a field day for Kirk Cousins. I would rather see J.J. Russell get on the field and try and fail. But this is a guy, if you go back to the preseason game against the Steelers, he had a pick. He's played well in coverage the very few snaps that he's played this year. He hasn't been a liability. But at the end of the day, this team misses Servassier Dennis, who still, even though he hasn't played since week 3 and he's done for the year, he has the second highest coverage grade, Matt, behind only Zion McCollum. It's crazy.
Who would have thought that of all the people that the Bucs would be missing, Servassier Dennis would be like up at the top of people that they missed the most. And, it sucks that Lavonte David isn't like the guy anymore. And in my mind and my heart and everything, he's still the guy. But yeah, you also have to take a realistic approach. And that's where I don't know how to look at this game, because I don't expect Todd Bowles to take a realistic approach. I hope he does, but I don't know. I just look at the blinders of, okay, we our defense is still gonna suck. Our defense isn't gonna do anything, and oh well. Above all else, we're not going to change the inside linebacker, which is KJ Britt right now. I hope it's different when we go and watch the game. When KJ Britt is in the creamsicle and whoever else is wearing creamsicle and being active for the game, but until we are proven wrong, we can't give Todd Bowles the benefit of the doubt.
No, you're right. And it's, listen, this is his defense. He's the defensive play caller. It's not just where he's the head coach. He's the defensive play caller. He has the final say-so on who plays and who doesn't. And if he continues to put out there on the field players that aren't helping, but they're hurting, then ultimately it's on him. And, he has right now a very tenuous winning record. I think he's like one game ahead of 500 right now as a head coach in Tampa Bay in the regular season. And he's going to start dipping below 500 if he loses today, and then the Chiefs game, and then the 49ers game into the bye week. And you have to wonder if you're the Buccaneers, if this team does end up 4-6, and we'll see what happens today. I think if they win today, at worst, they'll be 5-5 at the bye, right? They're still 4-3. I'm not trying to be too negative, but I've got to look at this objectively. If they lose today and lose the next two, which would seem likely against the Super Bowl participants from last year, the 49ers,
the team.
49ers. The team that, well, we'll see. They didn't beat them the last 2 years, and
what makes them so special? They have no wide receivers left.
I don't know. If KJ Britt's on the field, anything goes. I mean, they still have George Kittle. They still have Christian McCaffrey. Might be back by then. We'll see. But
his first game of the season.
I'm not saying that can't happen. I mean, you've seen guys come off the street and beat Todd Bowles' defense before, and he's made rookie quarterbacks look like they're Pro Bowlers. So my point is the conversation at the bye week, if this team is 4-6, is can Todd Bowles do it again? Can the Buccaneers run the table and go on this massive run at the end of the season like they did last year at 4-7? But Matt, as you and I talked about on Wednesday in our preview podcast, you still have to finish a game ahead of Atlanta, because if you lose this today, they're going to have the division tiebreaker over you. So you can't finish even. If the Falcons finish with 10 wins, you got to finish with 11. And that means winning every single game after the bye week. And that's going to be really tough to do.
Oh, it's going to be extremely difficult. And Atlanta, for as good as they can be, they also have their faults. That's why they lost to Seattle the week before. So, I mean, this is it's not the end all be all, but it very much feels like the end all be all. And I hope the Bucs take it seriously, because I know Bucs fans are taking seriously. And we'll see.
They love to play in the creamsicles. We'll see if they love to win in the creamsicle, something they haven't done since 2009. At least I'm having an orange Celsius this morning to get me going with the day. But we want to definitely let you guys know about our friends at BetUS, the sponsors of the Pewter Pregame show. The best thing about BetUS is they've got one heck of a bonus for you, 125% bonus on your first 3 deposits, plus 10% gambler's insurance. Use the promo code Pewter. I won a lot of money on college football yesterday. I just had a kind of a lucky day. I won on Indiana, BYU, Penn State. My Kansas State Wildcats won at the very end against KU. I lost that bet, though. They didn't cover it. That's okay. I'm still happy about that. Boise State the other night. So had a really good day. I've got a lot of prop bets on the Buccaneers today. And here's the cool thing, too. I gave away a couple of these flags this week. But if you go into BetUS and you use the promo code Pewter to make a deposit and sign up, I've got 5 more of these cool Bucco Bruce flags.
That's right.
Right here. They're 3x2 nylon flags, would look great in your house, in your Bucs shrine, at your tailgate party. All you have to do is take a screenshot of that particular sign up or deposit that you make and email it to me. It's real easy. sr@pewterreport.com. SR for me, Scott Reynolds, @pewterreport.com. And send me your address and I'll send you the flag absolutely free. So it's a fantastic way. I got 5 of them to give away. So the first 5 get the flags. And if I end up getting 6 and 7 and 8 and stuff, I'll send you guys some t-shirts. So, but let me know. Actually, you know what? I'll sweeten the deal. I'll give everybody that does that a Pewter Report t-shirt and a flag for the first 5. And then after that, you get a t-shirt. So sr@pewterreport.com, sign up at BetUS, make a deposit, and place your bets, and good luck. Buccaneers might need some luck today.
Yeah, no better deal than what you are displaying out there, SR. Yep. So let's get to the key matchups of the game. That's why everybody's here. Bucs offense versus the Falcons defense. Let's start with Jalen McMillan, the Bucs wide receiver, against the nickel corner Clark Phillips.
Yeah,
SR.
Phillips.
What are you thinking?
Phillips might be the best cornerback on the team. And I know that Mike Hughes is playing well, the former first rounder. The other former first rounder, A.J. Terrell, is always a problem. But Clark Phillips might be the best. He's got a great coverage grade on PFF. I loved him coming out of Utah. He's a feisty, agile, fast playmaker. And different from the Alontae Taylors and the Marlon Humphreys, those guys they played, he's just a little bit of a dynamo, kind of. And he's a really good at running routes for the receivers and jumping routes. He's going to go up against Jalen McMillan, who I think is going to be replacing Chris Godwin in the slot. We're going to see some of McMillan. We're going to see all 3 receivers, I think, go through there. Probably Sterling Shepard and McMillan more so than Trey Palmer. But this is a guy that I'm really concerned about, even more so than Hughes and Terrell, just because he's got a really good football IQ. And I haven't seen enough of Jalen McMillan to give him his due yet. He's going to get a lot of targets today, Matt. We know that. He's got to step up. Is this the game? Liam Cohen believes in him. Clark Phillips just has more experience. I have to go with Phillips in this matchup.
Yeah, Jalen McMillan has not earned anything yet. And, last week was the, he's like fully coming out of his hamstring injury. So, yeah, go Jalen McMillan. He's going to figure everything out. This is the biggest opportunity of his NFL career, and I'm sorry, I'm not going to give him the baton and be like, oh yeah, you're the man no matter what. So yeah, the answer has to be Clark Phillips. So looking at this next matchup, Cade Otton against strong safety Richie Grant.
Yeah.
A big time matchup for Cade Otton based on what the offense needs from him.
Yeah, and it looks like Justin Simmons is not going to play. Otherwise, this would be Justin Simmons. Simmons is not a great tackler. He's actually better off as a free safety. The problem is they've got a great free safety in Jesse Bates, who's a Pro Bowler. So if Simmons doesn't go, this might actually work out better, I think, for the Falcons, because Grant is probably a better tackler, better against the run. And he played just down the road at UCF. So he's coming back to Florida, and he seems to play good in Raymond James Stadium. Cade Otton really had a big game. And the thing is, Cade Otton has these big games, Matt, when we least expect it, right? The Eagles game in the playoffs last week at the end of the game. And now we kind of expect it. Now the Buccaneers kind of need it. And I'm not sure if Cade Otton's going to be able to deliver or not. There are times where Cade Otton looks like a really bad option in the passing game. And then there's times like at the end of that game where he surprised the hell out of me, took some huge shots, made some huge catches. I don't know. I've got to go with a push on this. I'm just not quite a Cade Otton believer because he surprises me when I least expect it. But gosh, when you need him, can he deliver? We'll see.
Yeah, you're correct with everything that you said. And as great as the Cade Otton 8 catches 100 game was against the Ravens on Monday Night Football, I don't know. Part of me thinks like, all right, it was really only in garbage time. And he made some great catches and he got lit up. So he deserves a lot of credit for that. But yeah, I don't know. A big part of me thinks like, okay, he wasn't that involved. It was later in the game. Game was kind of over, like that type of stuff. So
almost playing a prevent defense, kind of.
Yeah, exactly. So Cade Otton's a fine receiver when it's like a prevent defense, but you're not going to be going against prevent defense for the entirety of the game. So I guess I'd go with Richie Grant. However, Cody Mauch against David Onyemata.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago when we did the Thursday Night Football, this answer would probably be very different. But
Yeah.
Cody Mauch has picked this game up.
He has.
Maybe more than anybody else on this Bucs team, Scott.
No, you're exactly right. And the thing with Cody is, some would say he's kind of born to be a Buccaneer. He's got the no teeth.
That's
fit
right.
the sword right in there.
Oh my goodness, I forgot about this.
He's got the beard. He looks like the long hair. He looks like a pirate. So Cody Mauch is playing some ball right now. He really is. I'm really proud of this guy because he's kind of taking it from the fans a little bit. Pro Football Focus hasn't been too nice, but even Pro Football Focus has come around. The last 4 weeks, his grades have gotten better and better and better. He was one of the top 5 Buccaneers last week against the Ravens. Oh, and by the way, he handled Justin Madubuike like really, really well. Sorry, Nnamdi Madubuike really, really well. And he's starting to really put the down in, down out performances together. That's the thing. It's just when it's good, it's great, and when it's bad, it looks awful. But he's really eliminating the bad and the awful, and it's either good or great now with Cody. And I'm proud of his down in, down out consistency. And I think he's really confident right now, and we're going to see that today.
I'm super pumped for Cody Mauch. I mean, that he's doing well when, we have a couple of, I don't know what you want to call it, like assigned interviews or whatever, or anything like that in the Bucs locker room. And when they bring Cody Mauch up, it means that he's doing a pretty good job. So, next up, Rachaad White against Nate Landman. The interesting thing, more than anything else, is how the Bucs are going to use all of their running backs.
Yeah, for sure. And if I have a critique on Liam Cohen, and I really love everything Liam Cohen's done so far, I'll say that. I'll start with that. The problem is he had a guy that had 192 yards and 2 touchdowns, the NFC Offensive Player of the Week against the Saints. And that's Sean Tucker. That wasn't Rachaad White.
Yeah.
6 total touches, 1 catch for 9 yards, and a 5-point average on his 5 carries. He needs to see the ball more. Rachaad White, though, did a really good job. He's played well against Atlanta. He had the 56-yard run. He kind of got bottled up after that on a couple of other plays. But Rachaad, he's going to be a big role in today's passing game and also the running game. He did average 4 yards a carry. I didn't think he was bad against Baltimore. I would have liked to have seen, instead of him getting 10 carries, I would have liked to have seen maybe him get 7 and give a couple more to Sean Tucker, because Tucker's just the more explosive guy, in my opinion. But Nate Landman has really given the Falcons a shot in the arm coming back from injury. They've been without Trey Anderson. They'll be without him today. Their middle linebacker. Landman can blitz, very high Pro Football Focus grade. He can cover. He's kind of a do-it-all linebacker. Good player. I like him coming out of Colorado. I'm going to say after giving Malka the win, I'm going to say this is probably going to be a push today between White and Landman.
I hope that when we look at the box score at the end of it, that Rachaad White doesn't have more, like 5 more rushing attempts than Sean Tucker and Bucky Irving. Maybe 5 more than Bucky Irving based on the the injury history of, or not injury history, but the current injury of Bucky Irving. But I mean, if we're talking about pure runners, Rachaad White is the worst of the 3. And I hate saying worst because he's still like pretty good. But out of Sean Tucker and Bucky Irving, well, Rachaad White is ranking 3. So we'll see how it works. Works
and
for him.
Here's the thing with Bucky Irving, he's got the toe injury. He is going to play. He's going to suit up.
Yeah.
If I'm Liam Cohen, my plan would be already not having Mike Evans for the next 3 games and having Chris Godwin be on injured reserve. I can't afford to lose any more weapons. I would dress Bucky Irving, and if I need him, I would play him. But otherwise, I would make this the Rachaad and Tuck show. And I would ride those 2 guys and
Shad and Sean.
Shad and Sean. I love it. Let's do Shad and Sean today. The Shad and Sean show. And then if you need Bucky, play him. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Bucky's going to get some carries. I'd rather see 100% Sean Tucker than an injured toe running Bucky Irving. And I love Bucky. I'm not taking anything away from Bucky, but if you can get by without him today, do it. Like, you need this guy for the long haul. We've already seen Rachaad White miss a game, right? So you can't dwindle down your weapons anymore. I think you have to play smart, not just for this game, but for the season. So if you need Bucky, play him. Otherwise, the Shad and Sean show. I love that, Matt. Good job. What are your thoughts on the next and our final matchup on the offensive side, Matt? We've got Baker Mayfield, who's done a pretty good job of avoiding Jesse Bates so far, but out of all of his interceptions, 5 of them have been thrown to safeties. He didn't throw an interception last week to safeties. He threw 2 to Marlon Humphreys, a cornerback. But I think there's some logic to what I've been saying, which is had Baker start, get an early lead, bench him for the second quarter, put in Kyle Trask, right? Yep. Get to halftime, and then put Baker back in.
Get it off 1,000 times.
For whatever reason, 5 interceptions in the last 2 second quarters. I mean, come on. He cannot afford to turn the ball over today, and he certainly can't afford to turn the ball over to Jesse Bates, who is their top playmaker in the secondary.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And I think if we go back to 2 weeks ago and it's like, okay, he had 3 interceptions, but everybody would be in agreement that only one was really Baker Mayfield's fault. And yes, he messed up the last 2 times, but that makes me think even more that he is going to be on his P's and Q's when it comes to holding on to the football against a difficult Falcons team who plays a lot of cover 2, and you don't want to push the ball that deep. So, yeah, I'll give it a push just based on Baker has to understand that he can't be as aggressive. He can't push the envelope the way that maybe he would want to in other weeks. So, with all that said, it's got to be a push.
I think it's a push too, Matt. I agree with everything you said. To me, a 270-yard, 1 touchdown, no interception performance from Baker Mayfield gives the Bucs a better chance of winning.
It'd be fantastic.
Than a 3 touchdown, 2 interception, 320-yard game by Baker, because those interceptions could end up being costly. I think they can get some rushing touchdowns today. I think they can run the ball against the Falcons. Lean on the running game, use play action, and Baker just needs to really protect the football today. They've got to win the turnover battle today, and I think they got to probably win it by 2. And the reason I say that is because our good friends at BetUS have got the point spread, and Tampa Bay is a 2.5-point underdog for this game. So make sure when you're betting at BetUS, you check out their bonus, and it's 125% bonus on your first 3 deposits, not just 1, but 3. And you get 10% gambler's insurance. Use the promo code Pewter. And just a reminder, I've already had a couple of emails come in, so it looks like I've got 3 more flags left. So if you sign up today on BetUS, I will send you this awesome Bucko Bruce nylon flag, 3x2. It'd be great for your tailgate party, for your home Buccaneer shrine, anywhere you want to display it. All you have to do is sign up, take a screenshot of your BetUS sign up today, and email it to me at sr@pewterreport.com. I'll send you that and a Pewter Report shirt. Just send me your size and your address. And I've got, looks like 3 more of those to give away today. So looking forward to that. Almost as much as we're looking forward to the Bucs defense and seeing if they can change some of the things they've been doing, Matt, because I don't know, in 2 of the last 3 games, they've given up 500 yards of total offense.
The Bucs defense is driving me nuts. It's driving me absolutely insane because it makes no sense as to why they are allowing all of these yards. Besides the fact that, KJ Britt is out there as a inside linebacker. Regardless of that, like the rest of this team is like super talented. You have an all-pro and Antoine Winfield Jr. I know he wasn't there for the last game against the Falcons, but damn, like I don't know. It's making me lose my mind a little bit, which is why I really like the over in this game, because I don't trust the Bucs defense.
I don't either. And the crazy thing is, if you look in the middle of the field, which has been more susceptible to anything, I mean, ask Kirk Cousins, ask Mark Andrews, who had just a hell of a time Monday night with 2 touchdowns, wide open on several of those passes.
Yeah.
The middle of the field, Matt, here's the players. Here's the players in the middle of the field. Antoine Winfield Jr., Super Bowl ring. Jordan Whitehead, Super Bowl ring. Levante David, Super Bowl ring. And KJ Britt. Okay, fine. But it's not like this is all KJ. We're talking about 3 out of those 4 players I mentioned, the heart of this Buccaneers. This is the center field of this defense. They've won Super Bowl rings. They've played together. Whitehead has gotten 2 big contracts, one in New York, one in Tampa Bay. Levante David, I know he's aging, but he still knows what's going on. He has a working understanding of this defense. So when Todd Bowles says, when I ask him, when you ask him, when Rick Stroud asks him, Jenna Lane asks, what's up with this defense? Communication. How the hell can it be communication after so many years of you playing with these same guys in this same defense? I know that he twists and wrinkles and there's like little tweaks and stuff that he does with his defense on a weekly basis. It's not the same static defense, but you know what? Sometimes it kind of is when you're just dropping into that soft zone coverage, dropping those linebackers back. I don't know. I'm at my wit's end. Hopefully Vita Vea can get back on the sack attack because he had 3 sacks in 3 games. Didn't have one on Monday night, but he did sack Kirk Cousins back in week 5. And right now it looks as if center Ryan Newsel, who is their backup center, remember Drew Dahlman is out. He's on injured reserve. He is questionable for this game. If he doesn't go, it's Matt Hennessy. I do like Vita Vea kind of in this hopefully bounce back game for Vita. I didn't think he was particularly stellar on Monday night against the Ravens.
Yeah, as we kind of say every single week, I'm going to trust Vita Vea over really any center in the league. I mean, he's the guy that stopped the tush push against the Eagles last year with Jason Kelce, and now Jason Kelce is getting his own late night show based off of it. So, Vita Vea earns a little bit of something, but I could not agree with you more, Scott, about just, wanting to rip your hair out about this defense that is so frustrating, so agonizing, and just not being able to put your finger on it. So, I'll take Vita Vea in this one, but Jordan Whitehead against Kyle Pitts, I have to take Kyle Pitts just based on the fact that first of all, he's had 3 games in a row where he's had over 50 receiving yards, let alone 40 receiving yards, which is what his over-under receiving yards is. And also, what leads any of us to believe that all of a sudden this is going to be the week that Jordan Whitehead, gets on his A game and stops the Falcons and what they're trying to do?
Yeah, I mean, he had his worst game of the year, maybe of his career, last Monday night against the Ravens. Just terrible in coverage. Talking about Whitehead here. And KJ Britt, how much better? That's double trouble right there. If you're the Buccaneers, Whitehead and Britt. I've got to go KJ. Kyle Pitts in this one. To me, you look at last game, he had the 32-yard catch right in front of Whitehead down the seam. 8 targets, 7 catches, 88 yards. As you mentioned, he's really kind of found his groove with Kirk Cousins. I don't see how he's held to under 50 yards today. I think he's going to come up with an explosive play or two. I'm going to give this to Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about it, and there's no reason not to pick the Falcons running backs against the Bucs inside linebackers. I mean, we just spent the first 20 minutes of the show saying how KJ Britt is not equipped to be an inside linebacker in coverage. So, I mean, Bijan Robinson didn't hurt the Bucs the first time around. He certainly didn't hurt them, in the ground game. But, man, you get him the ball in space. I mean, good luck to those 2 guys standing there.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing, Matt. It's not just the running game. And I think Atlanta's going to probably try to test the run. But if you're Zach Robinson, the offensive coordinator, why wouldn't you pass the ball and try to get these guys involved in the passing game? Make KJ Britt cover. Make Levante David cover out of the backfield. So whether it's running, whether it's receiving with Tyler Algier, who is one of my favorite backs in the league, very powerful back, can catch the ball, can run it. Bijan Robinson, an uber athlete who is just dangerous in the open field. This is an easy pick for me. Falcons running backs over the Bucs inside linebackers, unfortunately. Next, we've got Yaya Diaby, your cover guy right there, versus right tackle Caleb McGarry. I don't think McGarry played in the last game. He was injured. So this is going to be a little bit of a test for Diaby. Came on with the sack in the last game. Still in the top 7 in terms of quarterback pressures and has 2 sacks in the season now. The Bucs need more from him in terms of the sack department. He is getting the job done in terms of pressures. I would rather have sacks than pressures, although he did have a pressure. He was right in the face of Kirk Cousins on the 4th and 15 play at Atlanta that led to that underthrow that was picked off by Levante David. Should have won the game for Tampa Bay, but didn't. But I still like Diaby. I think I'm a believer in him. I think the sacks are coming, and maybe he gets another one today. So I think that this is a matchup he wins. McGarry is more of a physical kind of big guy more than he is an athlete. I'm gonna say Diaby is gonna get a sack, and I'm gonna call it. It's gonna be with an inside move, Matt.
Again, I think it's going to be BS on the defense that Todd Bowles calls. So if it is the BS that I am predicting, well, then that means there's going to be receivers and tight ends and everybody open. What is it? 3 yards down the field, maybe 4 yards down the field, which takes 1.5 seconds to get the ball to. So, unfortunately for Yaya Diaby, I'm not taking him, but it's not his fault. It's more the coverage and Kirk Cousins finding everybody right away. So sorry to Yaya, but I have to take Caleb McGarry just based on my ye little faith in the Bucs defense.
Well, I understand that, Matt. It's the scheme that they're playing that allows quarterbacks to get rid of the ball so quickly. And Yaya Diaby's fast. I think he runs a 4.53, but he doesn't run a 4.33. So you're right. He may not have time to get there because the ball's coming out so quickly. And one of those guys that will be the recipient of several Kirk Cousins passes, because if you want to talk about a Bucs killer, this guy is a Bucs killer. We're talking about Drake London against the Tampa Bay defense. He's not going to have Tyke Smith to feast on because Tyke is out for this game. That's going to be a big loss because Tyke did not play well in Atlanta. He had 2 touchdowns that he surrendered, but he has been a playmaker for the Buccaneers. Go back to that Saints game, had a forced fumble that turned into a scoop and score, had his first interception. He's one of the best corners in the league in terms of being a nickel corner. But without him today, I think Drake London is in for yet another big game. And whether it's going up against the likes of Zion McCollum outside or Tyreek Funderburk or Christian Izien in the slot, I'm taking Drake London in this matchup.
Yeah, I mean, he had a big game with Tyke Smith in it. So, all of a sudden, he's going to play worse because Tyke Smith isn't in the game. He shouldn't be a Bucs killer, but he is, again, because of Todd Bowles. So
12 catches, 154 yards, and 1 touchdown.
Right.
He's had
half of these matchups we're talking about. There's one culprit in all of it, and that's Todd Bowles. We do have a super chat. Thanks to Joel Elrican for this $2 super chat, who says, "Good morning and happy game day." Happy game day to you, Joel Elrican, and excited for every Bucs fan to go to the game today. Creamsicle game. Know some friends that are going as well that are looking forward to seeing the Creamsicle jerseys, and hopefully they can come away with a win in the Creamsicles.
Yep, and the action gets going with Matt Matera at Pewter Game Day at 1:00 today. Bucs, Falcons, Creamsicle game. And this is going to be a very interesting game. I'm not saying it's going to be a good one. It's going to be interesting. Can this team shake the Creamsicle curse and get a win? More importantly, can they stop the Falcons from moving to 4-0 in the division? Right now, the Falcons have a 3-0, or I should say they're 3-0 in the division, and they could sweep the Buccaneers today. It's desperately important for Tampa Bay to prevent that from happening and split the series. It's something that has to happen. If you're not going to the game, or maybe you are going to the game and you want to get some pregame action in, well, there is one place that I really recommend, maybe more so than any other place. It's a place called Walk-Ons.
Game day at Walk-Ons is just different. And it starts with the way our teammates prep each dish from our scratch menu. No shortcuts. We are hand cutting every single mozzarella log straight from the block. Hand peeling, stuffing, and bacon wrapping each voodoo shrimp. Hand carving ribeyes for our steaks and po' boys, and hand slicing, then tossing our boneless wings in our house-made sauces. With wall-to-wall TVs and food like this, why would you want to watch anywhere else? That's game day. The Walk-Ons way.
Game day special is happening at Walk-Ons Saturdays and Sundays. It's your place to go to watch college or pro football. Why? Pints are $4.49. 22-ounce pours are $5.99 of Michelob Ultra, Bud Light, and Budweiser. Heineken Silver, 12-ounce cans, $5. $5 neutrals, assorted flavors. And make sure that you spend your Victory Mondays or any Monday at Walk-Ons. Why? Because they have happy hour, 3 p.m. to close. So watch Monday Night Football at Walk-Ons and enjoy $3 happy hour pours, $3.99 domestic pints, $4 house wine, $5.49 22-ounce domestic drafts, and a bunch of inflation-busting food specials, $6 fried pickles and small waffle cheese fries, $7 Boom Boom shrimp and queso dip, and $8 boneless wings and cheeseburger sliders. If you can't make it there on Monday, make sure you're there on Tuesday. All day happy hour, including $5 Tito's. And then you can see happy hour twice on Wednesday and Thursday, 3 to 6 and 9 to close, and also Friday, 3 p.m. to 6. Walk-Ons, 3 locations to serve you in Lakeland, down there by the stadium, and Matt Matera in Midtown Tampa, and up here by me in my neck of the woods, Wesley Chapel, across from the outlet malls. You can find out more and check out the menu items on walkons.com.
Yeah, do it up. I was there. Thursday when the Rams and the
What's your favorite
Vikings
food when you go there? What's your go-to, Matt? Because they have so many great things on the menu.
Yeah, so I'm a sucker for the wings, but everybody loves wings. I had the mango tuna and the mango tuna bowl, and it was phenomenal. And I was torn between the mango tuna bowl and the seared the fish or whatever it was. And either way, like, I wasn't having a bad decision.
Yeah.
So
their mozzarella logs
which one I love
are
more.
crazy good. The ones that Drew Brees was talking about, those are crazy good. My favorite app. And I love the cheeseburger sliders. I always go there during happy hour and get those things fill me up. I mean, sometimes you get sliders and they're just like little dried charcoal briquettes.
No, I can't wait to go back.
These are phenomenal.
They never disappoint. They never disappoint. And shout out to Walk-Ons because it's always a good time, regardless.
Just like the Pewter Report post-game podcast, whether they win or lose, it's always a good time because we get to talk to you, Pewter people. We either get to tell you about the win or we talk you off the ledge if they lose. The season is not going to be over if they lose today. It is going to be an uphill climb. We've seen this Buccaneer team show some resilience. I'm not ready to wave the white flag just yet. There's a chance that they win, although I picked the Buccaneers to lose. Everybody else picked the Buccaneers to win. I do have some good news. I was the only one to pick the Buccaneers to beat the Ravens. All my other colleagues were smarter than me and picked the Ravens to win. So maybe some of that mojo happens today. Maybe I'm the loser again, and I'm picking the Falcons to win, and the Buccaneers prove me wrong. Wouldn't you guys love that? Of course you would. So make sure that you join us again for Pewter Game Day. That's coming up at 1 o'clock here on Pewter Report TV. You can also watch it on pewterreport.com. It also streams live on X and Facebook. And really, that's the case for any of our shows, whether it's Pewter Game Day, whether it's Pewter Pregame, or the Pewter Report podcast. And we would be remiss if we told you that there is no Buccaneer football next Sunday. That's okay, though, because there is Buccaneer football next Monday. That's right. Bucs, Chiefs, Arrowhead, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, maybe Taylor Swift. I don't know. Are they still together? You can check out the action on Pewter Pregame. That'll be our show. We'll have plenty of Pewter Report podcasts in between now and then. But just a reminder that every game day, whether it's a Monday night, Thursday night, Sunday, we always do our Pewter Pregame show on game days. And we're going to have another one for you Monday, November 4th at 9 a.m. And we're going to follow that up, of course, later that night, Pewter Pregame, Bucs versus Chiefs, November 4th, 8:15. So these are some big games, Matt. They're going to be entertaining one way or the other. We're going to find out if Liam Cohen can figure this out. Any final thoughts on what you expect to see from this offense? Because really, I have no idea. I know what I want to see. I want to see more Sean Tucker. I want to see Jalen McMillan emerge. But I'm really curious to see what Liam Cohen has come up with.
Yeah, really the biggest thing for me is just we are going to learn a lot about the Bucs offense today. And I'm hoping, and what I think we'll see is, like, what we thought was a weakness in week 1 and week 2 is the offensive line. And thanks to Paul, aka OG Baker Pro, who has gifted a Pewter Report membership. Now the Bucs offensive line is a weapon. It's something that you can work behind. So you might not have Mike and Chris, and I'm not saying this is going to happen, but like if they can run the ball the way that they ran it against the New Orleans Saints, it doesn't matter who their opponent is. You're still going to be able to move the football. So that's what I'm most intrigued about for sure.
I would say Kevin Carberry. That's a name you guys really got to kind of understand, and you got to start to learn. We haven't talked about him a whole bunch, but we're on the Kevin Carberry bandwagon. Who is Kevin Carberry? He is the offensive line coach. And folks, I think we're seeing that the problem with the running game is not necessarily the offensive line. It was the scheme, right? Harold Goodwin was the former offensive line coach and run game coordinator, and he wasn't very good. And that's why when the Buccaneers saw him and Joe Gilbert, the other offensive line coach, leave to go to Carolina, they were like, okay, great. See ya. Have fun. We'll see you twice a year. And Carolina's run game has not really done anything this year. Chuba Hubbard's an okay back. They've had to lean on the running game a little bit because their quarterback play, whether it's Andy Dalton or Bryce Young, who's going to start today, hasn't been great. But Kevin Carberry has done an amazing job. Matt, you think about this. Up until the injuries to Mike and Chris, this offense has put up 30 points per game, right? 30 points per game with – and let's set the stage. This is going to be my final thought. Back in 2020 and 2021, this offense averaged 30 points per game with the greatest quarterback of all time, a Hall of Fame caliber wide receiver, Mike Evans, who was younger back then, 27 or 28. Chris Godwin, 1,000-yard receiver, multi-1,000-yard receiver, who was younger, 25 back then. A Hall of Fame tight end and Rob Gronkowski, a Hall of Fame caliber wide receiver, numbers-wise, not character-wise, in Antonio Brown, okay? And an offensive line that had 3 Pro Bowlers in Ryan Jensen, the center, left guard Ali Marpet, and right tackle Tristan Wirfs, and 2 other offensive linemen playing the best ball of their career in Donovan Smith and Alex Kappa, who's in a contract here in 2021. That was 30 points per game. Liam Cohen's been doing that with Baker Mayfield, who love him. He's not Tom Brady. An older Mike Evans, 31. An older Chris Godwin, 28. No Rob Gronkowski, right? Not even Cam Brate. We're talking Kate Otten. Not even Cam Brate.
Yeah.
And no wide receiver number 3 anywhere close to AB. We don't even know who the number 3 receiver is in this team, right?
Very true.
And only 1 Pro Bowler in Tristan Wirfs. And a rookie center. And Ben Bredesen at left guard. I mean, what Liam Cohen has been able to do from a point standpoint with the creativity and the multitude of ways he can put points up on the scoreboard and yards on the field has been amazing. And so I trust Liam. It may not look pretty today. He's going to figure this out. This is the first week of life after Mike and Chris. And it may work out. It may not. But I still trust this guy that he'll figure it out. It may not happen right out of the gate. He might have to see what happens first and then adjust. But I trust Liam Cohen.
Who's going to be the non-quarterback to throw a pass in the game today?
Yep. You know what? I actually took my anytime touchdown today is Vita Vea. I actually took a Vita Vea. Maybe, remember, he got a touchdown against the Falcons.
He did?
In Atlanta back in 2019. Or was it 2019, I believe.
Yes, it was 2019. Yeah. I was in attendance for it. It was one of the greatest moments of my professional career.
Yeah. So maybe we see Vita Vea in a goal line package today. I don't know. Give him the ball, throw the ball to him. I don't know. They're going to have to manufacture some touchdowns today against the Falcons.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I hope that comes true. But
it's a $500 casher for me. I had a free bet. It was a $10 free bet. I win $500 at Vita Vea.
Wow, you did today. You did $10 for a Vita Vea touchdown. Wow.
Yep.
Yeah. Why not? Why not watch us for the Pewter Game Day show that's coming up at 1:00 when the Bucs kick off? So Very much hope everybody can join us for that. And up until then, that's going to do it for us on the Pewter pregame show. So for Scott Reynolds, I'm Matt Matera saying thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you again soon for another edition of whatever this show is, the Pewter Report podcast pregame show and the upcoming
We do it all.
show. We do it all.
Yep.
Out.